Russia working on behalf of the American establishment to create the proxy war against Russia, because the Ukraine war is a proxy war created by the American military industrial complex, the same as every war that's been taking place in the Middle East. This is the only way Trump knew to win back business and make America great again. He had to destroy every other country. He has to destroy every other country and destabilise every country. And Poland are the most willing warmongers in the world. We have in the UK an establishment of paedophiles and a paedophile ring which protects one another, and it's protected by female charity. The female charities are run by the Freemason females, the Eastern Star, who are all Jesuits and Fabians. They're all child murderers, all Catholics. And this is why Poland is attempting to start a war. The UK Prime Minister is not a matter. He's a little boy beast. He's a little boy beasting predator himself. That's who the UK Prime Minister is. There's nothing manly about this stupid little effeminate boy, but that is who the UK is run by. There is no men, there is no fathers, and we only fund feminist charities to call fathers beasts, so fathers kill themselves. And fathers are killing themselves at an alarming rate. So the BRIC card, the digital ID isn't a big thing for so many people because of the amount of suicides, because of the amount of family breakdowns and the paedophiles running the web. They're using war, and they're using prime ministers that are puppets because they're drug using, paedophile, child murdering lowlives. It's not, the British people can just decide what they want at any point with their feet. We've allowed people to forget that. We can vote with our feet. We don't need to do anything they say. And the police are moving on to my side. I get the police are called on me every time I go on YouTube now. And that's because I'm getting more people listening. Maybe 5,000, 10,000 people will listen each time I do a YouTube thing. Last time, I think there was over 20,000, but that's not good. But this message, what I'm saying, what you're saying is true. We're causing wars worldwide. We are raping and abusing children worldwide. We're using paedophilia, and we're using homosexual prime ministers and presidents to beast one another. They've all got videotapes and documents they can release in one another. Every single one of them. They're ran by demons, worldwide demons. They're trying to start a proxy war the same as we started World War II. I believe what you're saying is going to happen on the UK soil because there's enough people here to destabilise this country. They've been brought in, and we know Hegel and his method of control has been updated. And Hegel's method of control was thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. And what that really means in today's language is problem, reaction, solution. And that's what they're doing with the UK government. That's what the UK government's doing. That's the Ukraine and European proxy wars created by America, the military. Remember, your phone, your handset, this internet is owned by the military. It's owned by the American military. Every single time you use this, you're using something more dangerous than a handgun. Good morning. Have a nice day, my friend. It's really, really nice to hear from you. Really good to hear from you. I'll be coming across your way very, very soon, but it's just trying to grab myself out of severe poverty they have created. I can get no help from friends or family. My own family don't even phone me. They don't even bother. They don't bother.
The same problems. No matter where you are, it's the same problems you're facing. An effeminate network to break family, feminist funding to destroy family and protect those abusing children. We're protecting child abusers. I went to get some food from the food bank the other day, and I'm so stubborn I walked away from it. because I had to listen to a wee woman's story. I did listen to her story, but it was after I'd listened to her story, I said, will you listen to mine now, that I've sat and listened to you? Because she wanted to tell me about Women's Aid, because most people in this town are aware that I'm not against Women's Aid, I'm against Women's Aid or any charity providing a narrative that's so false and life destroying that they should be shut down. Because they wrote that I was a rapist and asked my ex-partner to say that to the police, and she done that, and that ruined my life, and it took years for her to admit that that was a lie, and a lie written down by Women's Aid. So this woman, when I was at the food bank, she didn't want to hear what I had to say, and I said, well, you tell me about yours, because you said there was a girl here. She said, yeah, there was an Indian girl here, or an Asian girl here, and she was wearing like a silk scarf round her neck, and she had 3 children, and she was strangled by her ex-partner, and Women's Aid helped her. Now, as soon as she mentioned that, I've spoken to, I believe that very same woman, but I've spoken to her on a number of occasions. I've spoken about the abuse that she faced from her ex-partner, from a completely different culture. But she also said to me that she was taken away with her kids, put in a home, and she was told that she doesn't have to allow the children to see the father. And I'm like, well, if he has strangled you, that's what you should do. She said, but no, but they enjoy time with their father. That's what she said. That's what she said. Now the charity was still looking to make sure that they could break that family up. That's what that charity is doing. But they're not just doing that. They're fanatical feminist beasts. And if you look at the literature, they're attempting to let you know that 1 in 4 women are being beaten and abused, and Women's Aid are protecting that 1 in 4 women, because those 1 in 4 women have to look after their children because they're being so abused. Let me have a look at this. Just read this to you. Because this is alarming with domestic abuse. Domestic abuse affects 1 in 4 women who have to prioritise their safety and survival of themselves and their children daily. 1 in 4 women are having to protect themselves and their children from being abused and beaten daily. 1 in 4 women. What? 1 in 4 women are being abused and beaten by their partners daily? That's up in the Tesco shop. That's it. In fact, anyone that helps Women's Aid. It was a wee man that was the head of the Women's Aid in Moss Street in Paisley, and he sent this letter thanking Tesco for their generous donations, helping women. Now I can tell you for a fact, these women write stories to break up families and to keep children in a position where they're being abused. That's what they've done. That's what they do. But what we've got now is, that woman told me that story of a woman that I already knew, but she was not willing to let me tell her back, and she didn't listen. That I believe Women's Aid should not receive the funding they receive, because they have written down on paper that to check my ex-partner would use a story to say that I was a rapist. Now, why would anyone write that story down? Women's Aid did. Certain women from Women's Aid Edinburgh wrote that story down to call that man a rapist. Now, this woman that had to protect her children, and I know women have to protect their children from beastly, effeminate, abusive, chauvinistic, pigly men. I'm very aware that women have to do that. I watched my auntie had to deal with that when I was a child, and it's the only man I ever seen violent in my life. The only man I seen violent in my life was my uncle. He's trying to hit my mum's sister. And he used to shout and frighten me. What effing day of the week are you? Because my name's Day. The undercurrent in this society, in our town here, is to protect the feminist family wrecker. Now, I can tell you, I know for a fact that woman she was speaking about is the woman that I know, and that woman knows me. She was told to separate her children from their father. And she said she was beaten, and I believe she did have strangle marks, and she was... I also believe the story was exaggerated, but that's from listening to her. The story's exaggerated through all the little minis that get funding and get to break up the families, and the little 5-foot beastly... They're supposed to be women, but they're not women, they're not mothers, they're not grandmothers, they're not anything feminine. They're beasts, they're wee beasts that protect child abuse. They protect child abusers. They're funded by child abusers and they protect child abusers. That is, as much as I can say, that's court documented. They ruin lives, they ruin families, and they put children in severely vulnerable positions, which leaves them to be psychologically manipulated, forcing the child to hate half of who they are. That's what the charities are doing here. In our town, they protect the abuser. The same is happening in your country. I asked 2 days ago, I wasn't going to come back on here, but I continually come back on here. Why do I come back on it? I get nothing from it. Listen, I want to say hi and thank you to a guy, Little Hazy, probably under a bridge somewhere beautiful in Scotland right now, having a smoke or just looking up and enjoying life. And I hope you are anyway. Thanks very much. There's a few guys that have reached out and said about how false allegations are life destroying, and I'm sorry if you've had to face them as well, my friend. You're going to have to face lots and lots of allegations. That I can't actually think of any allegations that I haven't faced by the Polish prosecutors. I can't think of any. I can post a video from 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when I was in Poland. This was in the depths of the vaccine rollout worldwide, and I was in Poland at this point. I had travelled to Poland, and obviously I don't take vaccines, I don't do the PCR tests, I don't wear masks, I don't do all of this stuff. But that made me the trouble. Whereas now, if you'd done exactly as you done 4 years ago, you would look mentally ill. And most of you that have accepted that crazy stuff or not taking the crazy stuff, you know exactly what I mean. They set out to poison you, and they managed to do so. Everything that's been run, these psychological missions that have been run upon the populations in each country, it's just to start another war. And I'm sure most of you have heard the rumour that the World Cup is not going to actually go ahead. And I think Scotland will qualify for the World Cup just because it won't go ahead. That should really piss off Scottish people, or the Scotsmen. Thanks to my friend that came round when I had nothing last night. Absolutely nothing, like nothing. I don't mind if you say you're going to come round the day before or the day before. If you show up at mine, and he showed up with things that I wouldn't normally buy myself. But I mean, when someone shows up and you have nothing and you're just sitting there and you're trying to create comfort with the nothing you have, he showed up with chicken pakora, some chocolate, and 4 cans of Iron Brew, and something, a bit of respect, you know, that kind of thing. And most of the people I call friends, and all my family, not one of them, not one would appear. Not one of them would appear. Not one of them will be there. I'm not saying none of them would help. You could crawl and beg for help from just about any one of your family members, and they'll just sneer down at you, because that's what they generally do. They sneer down. And you get to see that since they have a lot to lose, that's who does as they're told, people that think they've got a lot to lose. But I'm talking about physical possessions and things like that. You're not losing kids and not losing anything else. Your home, your car, these things are all replaceable. Your child's mind is never replaceable. Now, those funding the feminist charities are very aware of that. And the feminists, are they aware of it? Possibly. But they just hate men and hate fathers and hate families so much, they couldn't care less. They couldn't care less. if they had to punt a baby from one side of our head to the other, like punt from here across the road, quite happy to do that to protect a fanatical feminist beast, because we're protecting fanatical feminist beasts. We're funding them. Men do not have a voice. Men have no voice. Why am I bothering doing this? Who am I speaking to? I think I'm speaking to myself. I get to see my reflection. You get to write things about how mentally ill and broken I am. I'm worse than you can write on there. I feel worse than you could ever put about me. The nasty comments that you can put, I feel worse than that. It's easy to boot and abuse and assault a father when he's down, and believe me, there's nowhere for us to turn. There's not a place for us to turn. I really could end this most days, but you keep going out of complete stubbornness. You don't take the food from these feminist charities out of stubbornness. I know they're run by the Christian or Catholic churches and stuff like that, and I shouldn't be going begging for food. But 3 days ago it got to that point, and there's nothing left, there's nothing there. If you sit down, shut up, listen to me and do as you're told, we'll give you a bag of tins. I'm sorry. I will never do that ever again. I will never ever do that again. I know if I can just sit in my discomfort and allow that to at some point feel comfort within the discomfort that is normal, that is my daily life, with hundreds of pounds in my bank account and never giving my children anything. I feel terrible every day that I can't work. I feel terrible that I'm stopped from working, I'm stopped from gaining employment. I see what they're trying to do in this country. I see it's run by like little nobodies who will just tell you no. But if they were to see you in public, they would run. I mean, they would run in fear. If any of these prime ministers we've ever had in the last 10 years were to see you in public, they would run away in fear with anything they do. I don't know how many signed a petition. What, 2 million people signed a petition to say not a chance with these digital IDs. This another cause to break up and cause trouble among society. Whether you agree or disagree with it, it's there to cause trouble. What you know is they take away every single freedom you've ever had and they try and sell it back to you. Every single thing you're supposed to have is freedom. You don't have is freedom. They steal it from you and sell it back. You can't go out and drive a car without paying for the freedom to travel. You have to pay for that. If you want to cross borders, you need to show them pictures of a wee passport. Hello. Oh, a sweet wee guy. Stick to the topic. The topic is children are being abused by funded feminists in this town. Funded feminists and little effeminate boy men. Little effeminate boys. They're not fathers. They wouldn't be sticking up for these things. They're signing their names to these letters that are sending out to shops, and these shops are willingly and not in no way begrudgingly giving these feminist charities funding. Now when I was in and I seen all these, because they're all government registered charities that are given heavy funding, and there's lots of wee feminist ones, and beside that there was a man's group. I think it was called Man's Group, and the Man's Group got to meet down the bottom scheme in the Dunterley Resource Centre, the Man's Group. No funding, of course, nothing, no funding whatsoever, not for families, not for fathers, not anything. And it's supposed to be for groups of guys looking to look after the community. You don't even have a voice. You need a voice to look after this community, and to look after this community we need to protect children. To protect children we need to give fathers and children somewhere safe, a safe space to go, because brutal, fanatical, well-funded feminist beasts are calling those great fathers rapists and women beaters, and they're saying that 1 in 4 women are being beat. Now I would love to ask any number of women, 1 in 4 are being beaten by men, and they're protecting their children. You see the kind of nonsense these charities say. Now, yeah, I am questioning those statistics. Statistics are generally very easily to prove. 1 in 4 women are protecting their vulnerable children because they're being beaten and abused by men. No! This is the very statistics these feminist charities want you to believe are real. Because that one woman I heard about, I've heard about 100 men committing suicide in the last, few months. I've heard about one woman being beaten in the whole of East Renfrewshire. Everybody's got the same story about this wee poor woman that was beaten. I know she was beaten, I spoke to her. But she did not take her children away from her husband. She might have got away and is given more safe passage, but she was born in this world. She is from the UK. She never just came to the UK because she was attacked by some man. She lived it in Cunmodrick. She lived in East Renfrewshire. And she sat and she had conversations with me. And every wee woman wants to use her story. Oh, she was strangled by a perpetrator, and every man, 1 in 4 children are suffering. No, you're abusing children. You're psychologically manipulating children to hate half of who they are. You know that father is half that child. You know that mother is half that child. Are you getting that? That child knows they're made up between that loving man and loving woman. And you're creating what? Destabilisation. That's what the charity's creating. And what's Poland's creating destabilisation in Europe with the war in Russia, and the Ukraine is causing destabilisation, and within our communities the charities are causing destabilisation, while we've got a paedophile network running all of society. And this is our international government. It's a paedophile network, it's a paedophile ring. They've all got stories and pictures and compromising positions of the most famous people, whatever that is. Beasts in every town are protecting child abusers in every town, and the child abusers in every town are given prominent positions in every town. And the feminist organisations are giving funding where all these little fanatical, beastly, effeminate men hang around, normally in governments and roundabout council buildings and things like that. Or they will head feminist charities. We effeminate men will head these feminist charities and say 1 in 4 men are beasting women every single day, and those women live in fear. No, you're writing and concocting stories to break up families so you can beast and abuse children, so you've got another generation to abuse, because it's intergenerational child abuse that you're looking to continue in this country because you're a paedophile network in Scotland, and the whole of the UK is trying to get that bigger. And that was the whole problems with the United States, trying to take everyone down to make America great again, and they're doing this by wars all over the world, using the internet to spread hate and fear. And are you trying to tell me you don't live in fear? Yes, you do. You try to explain that hate isn't being spread amongst families to break them down. 1 in 4 women are being abused. I've seen maybe 40 or 50 women walking in here, all stepping and juggling and bouncy on their way in with their wee tight pants about to jump to music. I really don't think that statistic holds any water at all, because any woman we must be bringing women in that are being abused other places. We must be, because I'm not seeing any Western women getting beaten up. That's not to say it doesn't happen. I've just told you, I've witnessed my family members, it happens there. But I remember the Catholic Church, Canon Brady said not to leave the family unit because it has to stay together, and that's a venerable thing for Canon Brady to have said in the 80s. But man, he was black and blue at that point, and there was no female feminist charity. It was a chauvinist paedophiles running things. Now the chauvinist paedophiles that were running things 30 years ago have now got a network of feminist fanaticals who abuse children to fund so they can be protected. So all they've done is put up another barrier of protection, because the feminist fanatical beasts that abuse children and break family, they're there just as another barrier to protect the paedophile. And the paedophile is the ring that runs every single thing. A circle within a circle. It's a circle within a circle, and children are being beasted every single day. Families are being broken every single day. Wars are being created every single day. Fathers are killing themselves every single day. All by design. All by design. None of this is by accident. None of it's by accident. This is where I mentioned There's 100 people watching. You know, when I start this, there's nobody here, and I just start ranting to myself, or I'll play a wee bit of music or a message from a friend. 10 people have pressed like from 116. Get it up, you. 10 of you pressing from 116. Every one of you press it. I'm standing here telling you something for nothing. No, I wasn't hungry. Yes, I'm all nicely fresh, washed with warm water. Woke up in a nice hot bed. So I'm very lucky. I have some things. I have some things and I have reasons. But the main reason I live, my son and daughter, they've been stolen from me, and I get called a rapist by the woman I loved. She said that story was written down by a funded charity. That funded charities wrote that story down over 10 years ago, and I've been telling this story for the past 10 years. My life has been wrecked. I used to earn like 15, 20 grand a week when I lived in Australia and had a business. This is why that woman was interested in me. She wasn't really interested in me. She wanted what I could make and what I could own and what I earned. That's what she wanted. It just so happened that we had children, and she's a willing beast. She was willing to sell them out, and we had a charity willing to fund her to do that. Women's Aid is a charity that's there set up to break down family, have children set up for the paedophiles from the ring that fund them. And the wee women always skip about calling men chauvinist pigs, putting them down, while the suicide rate for men is through the roof. For fathers, it's double fathers than it is men. Double fathers than it is men. Double the amount of fathers are killing themselves. Do you know why? Because they don't get to see their children, because they're all called beasts and rapists. And these charities making the false allegations are still funded and protected. The women making the false claims and the charity writing the false allegations, they're funded. It doesn't matter if I come on every single day, because it ends up just me that's judged. Me as a useless, horrible, stinking father that can't feed himself, isn't allowed to work, and he doesn't have his own home now. He's hanging on by the grips of the councils. The fact that he's paid in money since he was a young teenage boy into these councils doesn't mean he gets anything back. That's for the women. That's for the women coming from everywhere else in the world that are being beaten by men from everywhere else in the world that are going to come in here so they can start wars in this country, so they can give you cards to solve the problem that they created. Every single thing is the same. We have really questionable leaders, normally paedophiles or beastly wee men or beastly wee predatorial women, and their objective is to carry out whatever the predators above them tell them that they must carry out, and if they don't do that, they'll be killed, or the information on them will be leaked, and then their life will be ruined. Because the fake wives that these prime ministers have, I mean, this is just a whole game. This is just one big story. This is not the truth. The truth is children are being beasted as families are being abused and fathers are killing themselves. That's the truth. Fathers are killing themselves because there is nowhere to go, because the funded feminist charities are making fathers kill themselves. How can a funded feminist charity make a father kill himself? Listen to me, I'm one of those fathers. I'm not a rapist. If you want to call me that, do so. It's happened before. But it's now court documented that Women's Aid wrote that story that I was a rapist. And my ex-partner was willing to read it out because it assisted in her abduction and alienation of my children to Poland. At no point have I been assisted by the government, by the UK. At every point, every charity, every country has had a feminist female charity that's heavily funded. Every single country has had a charity that's funding these feminists. That's what you do. Unlike, unsubscribe. Get away from this. There is no time where I'm going to come on. You won't have a daily show of this. What you will have is me repeating myself time after time as you abuse and fail children time after time, as fanatical women are funded time after time by feminist beasts because paedophiles are behind them, backing them up with lots of money. 1 in 4 women, that is a disgusting statistic. 1 in 4 women. I need that explained to me. I can fully understand why fathers are killing themselves. I'm stood here to speak to you because I've got no one else to speak to. I need to speak to someone. I need help today. I need help. I need help now. I need help right now. I'm a human being. I'm a father. I'm a man. I need somebody. I need someone to go and speak to right now. You want to see something bad happen to me live on this. You want to see something horrible happen to me. And you know what I'm doing? I'm willing to have that horrible thing happen to me. I'm really done with all of this. I'm done with missing my children every single day. Every single day. My daughter's best friend and my daughter don't hang out and haven't hung out for years because my daughter's best friend, her father supports me. The whole thing, everything these women are doing is so disgusting. It's so beastly that you can just listen and just allow this to, you just let this go. This father you're killing live on YouTube. You're killing fathers live on YouTube. Yeah, I had a warm bed and a friend came round last night and I ate a bit of food and I drank some fizzy, carbonated, sugary, sweet drink. Can't remember last time I done that, but I did enjoy that. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy knowing there's 169 people on this and just over 10 people have like the idea that a father's willing to stand out, good morning, and speak about children's safety, speak up for the rights of fathers and families. I understand it's mainly the beasts out there supporting. Family's broken.
Alright, mate.
Sometimes, mate. How are you? That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm complaining. All I do is moan and complain. I don't question my friends don't like me. My friends aren't, I don't question that. I'm a complete arse. I'm the most stubborn man you could meet. I am so broken inside, man. I'm so broken down. I'm in pieces and I can't take much more of this. And I'm standing here shouting at a phone, which I know is worse than shouting at a gun. I should have the gun and just point that straight to the centre of my head. But I'm not even man enough to go back to Poland and face the abuse that I faced in Poland in 2022. Constantly having police harassment, constantly have security services harass me, having these guys hound me, hold me down and stick electronic tags on me, stick things in my flat so they can record where I go, and whenever I leave they can check where I am. Every single allegation has been made against me as a man. You name it. I'm a stalker, I'm a rapist, I'm an abuser, I'm every single thing. I really don't know how you can make any more allegations and anyone can take you seriously when you've made so many. When you've made so many and you're still getting this help. There's that wee woman. I'm never going to stop talking about the rights of fathers, not ever. I'm never going to support vicious, abusive women, not ever. I will always support decent women. I'll stick up for good women. I'll stick up for loving women. Today, women are supporting the predator, they're supporting the beast because the beast is the one funding them. The beast is the one funding them. I'll speak to you soon, Peter. Sorry, mate. I'm done with this. I'm done. I miss my son and daughter. My son and daughter has been forced to hate me. Please, write to the Polish embassy in your local area. Poland's looking to start a war right now. They're looking to start a war. I don't know what they get from the United States once they've done that, but it'll be a big handout. I need to see my kids. I need to feel human. I need a friend. This guy is so needy. He's broken. He's just unliked it twice. I mean, there's so many people just unliking things. Unsubscribe or unlike. There's 16. If there's 16 people there that liked us, can you remove the likes? The last thing you want is this put on your algorithms, because then it'll be showing you're supporting a father. Remove the likes that you've put. The last thing you want to be doing is supporting fathers, supporting children, supporting the rights of family, because you end up having people come after you. If your government sees that you're looking to stand up for the rights of children and protect fathers, family, and the father's unit and the family unit. I say fathers quite a lot because the father is the head of the family. My dad was the head of my family. He did make the decisions in the family. Did that mean my mum was some kind of forgotten, left in the background? No, of course not. Of course not. My dad used to come back in a very old-fashioned way on a Friday. He'd have a brown envelope full of money, and my mum would get the vast majority of the money in that wee envelope, and we lived like that. On top of the mantelpiece on a Friday when I got back from school as a 5-year-old with my own key, I would go in, I would see the paper money, I'd see the milk money, I'd see the tablet and macaroon man's money, and I'd see the family allowance or the provident money that I had to pay to the provident woman. And everything's laid up in just wee bundles of coins and notes on top of the fireplace. That's what I was used to. That was me being brought up. I had a family unit with 2 brothers, a mother and a father, and it was never ever broken till the day my father was killed. And he was killed by the people in this community. He was killed by the people that said that they loved him. And we kill people because we just don't know any better. Maybe one thing we can do, we can support our local communities and local farms. And still in the UK we have local farms that produce goods which can help your body heal. And it would be great to see your body could be healed by supporting our local farms. I know it's very expensive to support the farms, because normally it's quite expensive to buy anything direct from farms, but we're going to have to, because all of these shops selling us food-like products, they're just poisoning us. And if you can buy anything, please go and buy a bottle of cold-pressed linseed oil. You'll find it from one of our great British farms. Our great British farms still produce cold-pressed linseed oil, and that cold-pressed linseed oil, the stuff for human consumption. I want you to buy some low-fat cottage cheese, and I want you to mix it. Oh, yes, I'm mental ill and broken down. Stick in the comments what type of mental illness do you believe I have, and what's going to end up my life in the next few weeks, possibly days. It simply is not. I am not worthwhile. I'm not worthwhile. Nothing that's going on is worthwhile. You're not worthwhile. Why are you watching me? Is this just like 90 people in Barhead that hate me just watching this? Or 90 people in Glasgow? People aren't willing to put their face and speak their minds, because their minds are full of junk right now. I can't believe how low we've brought our society. I can't believe how bad our councils have got. All our services are terrible. I'm part of the problem. Listen to this. I'm coming on and complaining about community complaining about charity, complaining about family. Every day I'm complaining about these things. I'm not helping it. I don't think there's anything I can do to help anything or anyone. I've never been in what you would call a successful relationship. Because every relationship I've ever been in is very much broken or damaged. And that is a bit like me. And I don't want my children being broken and damaged, but my ex-partner's done this for us. She will do it continuously. Women that have gone this far, if you've called a man a rapist, if you've called a man a woman beater, and he's never done these things to you, and you've done that to abuse kids, you're not right in the head. You will go to hell, and you're going to suffer. It might seem easy for you now because they've got charities funded by demonly feminist women that abuse kids, but as soon as that funding goes away, they're still going to know that you were there to support the beasts abusing kids. They're still going to know that you said that man raped you when he didn't. You said it. It doesn't matter that that charity wrote it down. You were willing to say that about a man that you had children with that man, and you were willing to call him names like that. Good morning. That lady was a school teacher of mine, not the woman talking nonsense to me, trying to get me to beg for tins of food. No, I'm a stubborn wee man. I'd rather be hungry. Barhead laughing stock. I mean, it's not even a Glasgow laughing stock. It could be the Scottish laughing stock. I mean, any reason, I'll take any reason, anything that can allow me to see my kids. Stop pressing like and then unliking. If you're going to take away the likes, take away every one of those likes. Is it 20 likes or something? I don't know. 20 people that have pressed like, unlike. You foolish people watching this. I'm telling you, numbers keep flashing up on the screen. I can't see because it's all in white. I can't see anything you write because I'm not allowed to see what you write because I'm supposed to get digital ID and give ID so YouTube algorithms can have my ID so I can speak to you. So I'm not going to be given any of that information. I mean, something else. My eyes as well. I have this thing as well. I can't stop looking at pretty people. There's lots of pretty people about here. I just want to talk to people. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the rights of fathers and rights of families. I want to have a community space inside the Foundry. I want to have a wee place where people can come and sit and speak to me and have a cup of tea, even if they want to spill that hot tea and throw it over me. I want to have a place where we can sit and speak about these things. My kids deserve to know that their daddy's out here still waiting for them. They were abducted from here. They were abducted. God, if I was a woman speaking to you as a mother, and I was telling you that my children have been abducted by my father, by the father of my children, you would be going all out to support me. It's because I'm a man, number one. I'm a father, number two. It's quite easy to call me some kind of pain in the ring that doesn't deserve to breathe. What are you doing breathing oxygen in my town? Have you paid for that oxygen? Believe me, as soon as they find a way to charge you for it, they will. As soon as they find a way to stick any way of metering things on it, like your gas and electricity, that stuff's free. I live in Scotland. I mean, we grow this stuff here. Petrol grows here. We've got the fields of haggises running free beside our petrol fields and the fields of oil. Do we get a stipend living in this country? No. We don't get any payouts for the energy and the gas and the petrol and the oil we produce. Good morning. Ladies, very good. There's so many nice ladies here and you still say hello to me. The vast majority don't say hello. The vast majority will pull out their hood and they'll walk by. The vast majority of women will throw up their hoods and walk by me. And I understand why. Well, I don't understand why they think, but I've got an idea in my mind why. Because I'm a pain in the backside. I'm a pain in the backside. Yes, I might blame my family for not phoning me, but they don't call me because I'm a pain in the backside. My friends aren't there for me because I've been a pain in the backside, not just for a week or a month or a year or 2 years or 5 years. It's over a decade. Over a decade. Since my hair was dark to my hair's gone white. And I think it went whiter very quick. Don't get me wrong, I dyed it and pretended I had not white hair or not grey hair. I might do that again at some point. I've dyed it green, I've dyed it blue, and I've dyed it black. Stop pressing like unless I tell. 29, every one of you, take away those likes. In fact, just get off now. It's time. What's 45 minutes? The show is finished. The show is finished. I'm finished. Boy pants are on this morning because it's cold. I don't want to do this any longer. I don't get anything for doing this. Besides the funny looks. And being the outcast in the local town. And being the local weirdo. I couldn't care less if you think I'm a weirdo. False allegations do ruin lives. But the entire system and web of control that's set up to keep this thing ticking along. The web that's been set up to bring us down, to take off our freedoms and sell our freedoms back to us at a price. You're going to be renting out your child pretty soon to have time with them. You're going to be paying for hugs. Right now I can't even pay for a picture of my children. Doesn't matter, you saying 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. She just laughs at you now. She doesn't care about who she hurts. Women don't care about who they hurt. I'm done with this. I hope every one of you find the thing that you're looking forward to today. I hope you find the thing that you need. I keep thinking it's food. I keep thinking it's drink or something else. I don't mean alcohol. I need to see my son and daughter. I need to be taken seriously. I know it's quite easy not to take this seriously. I don't take me seriously at times. I don't take my life seriously at times. I'm willing to be the butt of the joke as long as you help. As long as I get to see my son and daughter. I can't do this much longer. I can't do it. And the reason men are taking their lives at such an alarming rate is because they're in this position. They might have spent the last 10 years trying to prove they weren't a rapist because a female charity was willing to write that story and someone was willing to read it out to the police and the police were willing to come and arrest you. Because you're not innocent until proven guilty. Maximum laws are not maxims in laws. I need to see my son. My daughter needs to see me. She needs to and deserves to see me. My Polish friends are concerned about digital ID in the UK and the loss of freedoms in the UK. This is the worst country just now. Scotland is the lowest country on earth. We abuse kids and we finance family breakup. We finance the breakup of family through vicious women. We finance women that abuse kids. We finance women that protect paedophiles. We finance women that abuse children. We've seen this with Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell would be in prison or she would be hung by her neck by now if any one of you actually cared. But she won't be, not ever. Women abuse, women are supported to abuse. I need time with some fathers and I need to see my children. I need to be allowed to travel. I need to get funds to fly from here to Poland. I need to make sure that I get to Poland. They don't have another 100 different false allegations to attempt to arrest me. I need my daughter and son to have time to spend with me. I need you to be able to help me do that. Because I can't do it myself. I'm a failure. See all of those hateful comments, every single one of them, I'm worse than that. I'm worse than the worst thing that you can write. But the thing is, I wouldn't hurt you. I wouldn't hurt your children. I don't want the things that you have. Unless the things that you have are happiness, contentness, maybe some heating. Maybe you get to hug your daughter before she goes to sleep and get to say to your son, I love you, son. Women, stop this. Women are funded to end this. Women are funded to stop you as a father speaking about this. You're the only people I get to speak to tell this story to, and 99% of you want to kill me. My own family would rather have me dead. My own friends wouldn't bother helping me. I'm having the 0.01% of people jump out and help me right now. A young man, he could smash my face to pieces. This young man was an ex-boxer and ex-professional footballer. He's a very, very fit, healthy young man. He could smash me to bits. So you can ask my young friend to smash my face to pieces, because as soon as I can feel the pain, maybe the physical pain or the psychological pain, the manipulation, which are like gut-wrenching fear that I have inside by not knowing if my children are safe. You psychopaths not helping me. Beasts not reaching out. I know, but we've got the £1 million funding for these feminist charities. That's what we have, Joe. 1 in 4 women are being abused. All these men are complete beastards. They don't deserve to see their children. In fact, I'm sure there's a lovely gay couple across there that they want children and they can't have them. Let's give some children to them. Because the last thing we want to do is support fathers and family and children. We never, ever, ever do that. Because then children might have a nice, clear, happy, secure family. Shut up, Joan, stop talking nonsense. I agree with most of your points out there. Shut up. Shut my face up. Stop talking. You're just trying to say the Freemasonic Society, the Catholic Church, the whole web of control in our town. You're trying to say that they're here to bring down family and stop the rights of children? Yes, I am. I don't need to prove any of this. Well, I can't prove any of this. You can't prove any of this. But we have the evidence to show that these beasts are funded. Our governments are corrupt. Our children, they are what's being sold off. The only thing with any value is children or your body parts. If they're in any decent form, and 90% of your bodies aren't in any good shape. And that's your fault. Your fault. I'm a hypocrite. I'm an idiot. I'm a foolish man. I'm angry. Or upset. Definitely reactionary. But I'm very like you. You're more like me than you think. I know you don't want to be, but you are. Press like. go press the like button. You press subscribe. If you're from Women's Aid, reach out and speak to me and tell me, what is this 1 in 4 about? There's no one that can justify anything that's going on right now. The funding, there's no one justifying anything. There's no one that can actually string a few decent sentences together. And I'm one of them. There's a few guys I want to thank, but I forget who they are. Oh, it's one thing that really does concern me is seeing 3-year-old, really small boys with cans of Red Bull. Why is that? Why is parents giving their children Red Bull or energy drinks? Why are we doing that? Okay, never mind, because I just moan about every single thing. No matter how little you think of me, I deserve to see my kids. I deserve to see Matthew and Ava. I deserve to know them. Listen, I deserve hot water and heating in my house. I deserve not to worry about where the next meal's coming from, but I know a lot of you in this world that do worry about that. I've never had that as a worry. It's not actually a worry. I'm pissed off at the fact that this is real. This is what I can't work. I can't go out and create. I can't have a purpose. No, because that's the point. You hopeless, helpless, useless failure. Are you a father? Well, that's what you are, a hopeless, helpless, useless failure. Unless you're doing as you're told, and you're not getting to spend any time through the day and you're sending your kids away with some strangers, then you're not a father these days. How dare you? Kids' safety. What's safety? Why do we want kids' safety? How are we supposed to control them in the future if we make them safe at their youth? You know how much easier children are to control when they've lived a life of fear? We can more than likely abuse them and rape them and break them down. Oh, okay, so there's a purpose. The common purpose, support the feminist, fanatical, child abuse and family record. Why? Because the paedophile network's been in control for the last 50 years. They've already shown you through every person that you think's famous, they're just another version of a predator that abuses and rapes children, sells body parts. But aren't you been all conspiratorial, Joe? No, I'm not. Doesn't make a difference if you'd let people know on YouTube what's court documented or if something's just going to pour out my mouth, which is absolute nonsense. Doesn't it make a difference to most of you? No, let's go and see Mr. Beast. Let's go and look at this new mobile phone. It's got 5G. Total monkeys. So why does anyone bother with this? Oh, I really hope for children's safety. You just couldn't give a toss about safety for anyone but yourself. I'm talking to a whole lot of people that want instantly gratified. Kiss my last line of Charlie. I'm no your pal. Total mongs. Why are children not safe? Because women are funded to abuse them. Why are children not safe? Because paedophiles own the network that fund the children to be abused by women. It's not very difficult to see past all of this. Lots of women are willing to take a payoff. And then the women that are frightened to speak about the women that are willing to take a payoff, they don't really say much about the women taking the payoff, and then behind that, some decent women. And they can still be exploited. That Indian woman was a beautiful woman, a caring woman. She cared more about her kids than she cared about breaking her family apart. And she wasn't willing to break her family apart. But the vast majority of women are willing to do that, especially if they get assistance to do it. And my ex-partner, and possibly your partner, she might be willing to call you a rapist, and that can and will ruin your life. And do you know what? See, if you mention it, it's you that's the bad one. Oh, did you just say that someone called you a rapist? The woman was strangled. Don't say that she lied. You can't say anything that protects a father. You can't say anything to make a father innocent. You can't say anything. Please come and get me. The local police are just sick of me. The local business is sick of me. But that's because no one looks at me as a father. If I was a woman, or if I decided to put on a dress and call myself Josephine, I would get help. I've already been told that by psychologists. But I would have got lots of help maybe a year, 2 years ago, because we still have men wearing dresses in women's prisons who raped women. Real rapists, who are men, and we have them in female prisons. That's what we have in Scotland. That's what's happening in our schools, that's what's happening in our prisons, this is what's happening outside. They're trying to take away our last bit of freedom using an ID card after flooding the country with illegal immigrants willing to blow you up to pieces. Who they invited in, whether it's through the Freemasons or through the Catholic Church, they have many ways to bring in illegals into your country. They have many ways to start proxy wars. They have many sellout little beasts willing to take money, calling them charities. And they're not charity. Charity now has been militarised, the same as the schools, the same as the food, the same as the air, the same as your medicine. Please support your family, please support the local fathers, please support your local farmers. Please buy yourself a bottle of cold pressed linseed oil, and each day take 200 mils of cottage cheese, low fat cottage cheese, and 100 mils of linseed oil. Use an immersion blender and blend it well, and eat that small yogurty substance that you've created. And I promise if you do that each day, you tell me what's happened to your body, you tell me the significant positive effects at the end of a month of just simply doing that. We've got the police, undercover police. Thank you, mate, for giving me a tenner to spend today. That is very, very kind of you. Very much appreciate it. I'm sorry that I constantly try and put the money back into your pocket when you give it. I just feel like a low-level parasite who doesn't deserve. And when you know that you don't deserve to know or see your own children, and you've never caused any child any harm, and this is after, I mean, I'm a survivor of false allegations. I'm a survivor of false allegations. And believe me, if you've been called a rapist, and you've come out the other end 10 years later, and at no point, I've never been bothered about that. It's just the fact that, I mean, it's court documented that the lie was written by a charity. Court documented that a funded feminist charity wrote that and said, maybe you would say that your ex is a rapist who beat you? Maybe? Yeah, okay. Excellent. There's another family ruined. That's what's happened. Don't open or start a YouTube channel unless you're going to be psychologically prepared to deal with what comes from looking down the barrel of a gun. If anyone out there wants to speak to me or reach out to me, I encourage you to do so. I don't know how many more times I'm going to have the ability to reach out in this way. I know O2 have offered me 50 gigabytes or something, or megabytes, I don't even know. So I don't need to come and get free Wi-Fi from the middle of a main street. Do you have to use your phone? As soon as I leave here, my phone does not work. It's inoperable, totally inoperable. I have nothing. I have minus hundreds of pounds out of the bank. But my friend gave me a tenner last night. He also brought me food, drink, companionship. And I got to watch him play a computer and swear at my TV for a bit. The TV doesn't show any TV shows because it's not plugged in to an aerial outside. And I suggest you don't plug your TV into an aerial either. I also suggest you don't use YouTube or mobile phones. But then how would we communicate? This is very difficult. I'm not a very smart person to work out these issues that we have. But I know for sure my children should have the opportunity to see me. And even if you despise me and hate me, and you've got the very reason why my children would hate and despise me, then that's the very reason they should get to see me. But we'll be too busy running about playing while you sit in your wee puddle of hate and never mind. Thank you very much. I heard someone laugh there, so I said thank you very much. You don't need this explicit. I don't believe there's 100 people watching me. I don't even know why you're bothering. I've been on here for over an hour now. I know I've maybe got a couple of false mates on here that are going to use this against me in some way, but go on. Come and use it against me today. I've got £10 in my pocket. I get to see the plain-clothed officers, or people that would love to be plain-clothed officers, that just go about with some white earpieces in, as if it's the 90s. Men and father have to have funded charity. We need a place to go in every single town that we have children and fathers. That means that we need a charity funded the same way as Women's Aid's funded. But the thing is, we will help protect children, whereas the feminist charity abuses children. The feminist charity is funded to abuse children. The feminist network in your town, that's worse. These little women protecting child abusers, that's the worrying part. The worrying part is it's a network. The worrying part is it's a web. Webs are easily broken though. Don't forget that. Children are easily protected. As soon as we help fathers, we're going to be helping children. We don't help children by helping fanatical feminist beasts. And for the last 10 years we've been funding fanatical feminist beasts, and these wee feminist beasts have been teaching our children, and we've got to this point. We've got to having foolish wee men like me coming and giving their peace of mind onto something they don't quite understand. But I don't want anything from you. I don't want your money. Doesn't mean I won't appreciate it if you offer me. I might buy myself a new pair of pants, or I might buy a plane ticket and try and get to Europe. It depends on what you're going to offer, because I want out of here. I need out of here. I don't know if I can go another day, but this time tomorrow I could be speaking the same nonsense to the same foolish load of instant gratification hunters, and that's what you are. You're just hunting your next piece of gratification. That's what the phone does. I went into a charity shop and asked if they had a selfie stick yesterday, and the woman laughed at me. I don't know if selfie stick is still a thing, but I've mentioned the word selfie stick quite a few times, because my hand would be, I don't know, my hand's working alright. Oh, shut up, Joe. All the very best to you. Matthew, Ava, I'm sorry I've failed you. I'm sorry there's a lot of fathers out there that feel as if you've failed your kids. You'd better just to say that you have failed them, because you're not going to get any help. You're not going to get any help. There's no funded charity for you, my friend. I'm just here to let you know it's not worth putting that rope round your neck. It's not worth ending anything. It's not worth doing what they want. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. They are pushing you to the very edge, my friend. I know, I feel it every single day, especially at night time when you're on your own. I know you feel so alone. There's no purpose, but there is. There's a purpose. There's a purpose that you stay alive. There's a purpose you keep breathing. There's a purpose you're here for your children. You need to be there for them. After these years of mind control and beastly abuse from these feminist, fanatical lowlives, you need to be there. They've been taught that you've hated them. How you doing? And you love your children. I love you, Matthew. I love you, Ava. I'm so sorry. This is what we call our reality. There's a lot of people out there want to help. There's nearly 40 people that have come through today, and they've showed some support. They've pressed the like, even though I tell them not to. I tell them to unlike this stuff. It's not going to help us overall. I don't want money from these wee piglets. I won't take anything from these wee piglets. And just every other wee piglet with a YouTube channel, that's all they're looking for. I'm here for the 1% of YouTubers, content creators. They're just telling you their daily lives, and they're asking you to open your ears and heart to listen, because children are being abused. And I know this message isn't one that people want to listen to, but children are being abused and they don't deserve to be put in the same position. We're funding charities where these fanatical feminists are willing to go out their way to abuse kids. Fathers kill themselves when that happens. I know, I feel like doing it all the time. I feel like ending my life all the time, because I never ever get to know the safety of my children. I never get to know how they feel. And I know you can never physically get to know how your kids feel. Like, you can't ever, like, that's like empathy, that empathy thing, you can't do that. But you've known how it's felt in the past for yourself. Whether or not that's the same as what the other person's feeling, I don't know. We need to stop this. Cottage cheese. I do need a bit of sunshine again, I can see. But here, I've not seen the sun in the past 2 weeks. Like, I appeared for one afternoon last Sunday. But it tells me just now that the sun is just shining where it's nothing. It's just mist and fog, or heart, or whatever this is. It's a bit deep, dank, dense fog. Cheerio.